And we're on Jazz Street with our first Jazz Festival interview of the festival, Sasha Berliner. Sasha, welcome to Rochester.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
So for folks who's just learning about you, what do you play?
I play the vibraphone.
And are you in school right now, or are you out on the road?
Well, both, but but I have one more year of school left at the New School for Jazz and Contemporary Music.
Sasha, in the last couple of years, in terms of writing, in terms of exposure, and getting people, for lack of a better, woke about what's happening. Talk about what's it been like for you in terms of the feedback you've been receiving from women in jazz who realize, you know what, I can have a voice and not to be afraid to express themselves.
Yeah, I mean, now it's interesting because quite some time has passed since I released that article. It's coming up on 2 years now. But it's interesting because people still approach me about it and send me messages and, give their gratitude and say thank you for, saying what I was too afraid to say, or, that it's clear that this was not just about you, but about any of the women who are in jazz, especially the young women who are still, up and coming and trying to figure it out, that you've really, given them the hope that they need to. I mean, not that I'm the sole reason, but you've really inspired them to keep going. And I've gotten that directly even from students, which is just really amazing because I know exactly what it's like to be in that position. And I remember wishing that I had those kinds of mentors or those kinds of people speaking up for me at that, like when I was there. So, it's been great. I mean, honestly, I didn't get a lot of, there's the occasional negative, hateful comments of people who just, don't understand or didn't read the whole thing and just got very defensive. But the majority of the responses were very positive and supportive, and I think, it started some new discourse that hadn't been there before, and that's really all I wanted to get out of it. So, yeah.
Speaking with Sasha Berliner on member-supported Jazz 90.1. So when you published the piece, what was your intent? We just wanted to say something that was cathartic for you, like I have to get this off my chest, I have to express myself, and then wherever it goes, or did you have a particular point you wanted to make and reach?
I would say that it's a combination of both. I mean, it was definitely something I wanted to say for myself, to stand up for myself, but it also, it puts yourself in a very vulnerable position, especially when you're, young and just starting to, I guess, form your own career. To post something like that and know that, like, you are going to get some controversy. It's risky to do, so a lot of it was about not just me, but, speaking for other people and, being, trying to be a voice for, the people who are in my position and felt like they couldn't say anything. I think it's really about, trying to speak for the experiences of all women in jazz. And, I can guarantee that any number of them will say that they had some version of any of the list of experiences that I put on the article. So.
Speaking to Sasha Berliner on Jazz 90.1. So, Sasha, let's talk about the music for a moment. So, what inspired you to pick up the vibes? And who inspired you to pick up the vibes?
Wow. I actually started on drums, and I had no idea what the vibraphone was until I was about 13. But I was auditioning for a performing arts high school for their jazz program, and I was told I had a better chance of getting in if I showed them some melodic knowledge in addition to playing drums. And so I had like a little glockenspiel that I set up, and I played some scales, and then they sort of elected me to play the vibraphone from there. And I didn't know what it was. I mean, I knew what a xylophone was. Most people, make that sort of connection, but that's sort of how I started. And my first teacher, his name is Tommy Kessiker, based in San Francisco. He's amazing. A lot of his sort of style of teaching is based around Gary Burton's playing. I don't think that I play anything like Gary Burton now, but in the beginning, he was definitely my major inspiration, especially in terms of formality, and solo and duo vibraphone playing is particularly difficult. So he was really a pioneer in that sense, and he was like my first major inspiration. But I would say Bobby Hutcherson's probably my favorite vibraphonist. Just absolutely amazing, and he was one of those vibraphonists where you really saw him evolve, not just once or twice, but several times throughout his entire career. And he was always just taking risks and not afraid on the instrument, not afraid to make mistakes, and not afraid to stretch himself, which is, I think, the thing that I admire about him most.
Sasha, so what have you been checking out these days, inside or outside of jazz for music?
Lately I've been checking out Etienne Charles. He's a trumpet player in the SF Jazz Collective. His album Carnival Sounds of a People, absolutely amazing. A lot of SF Jazz Collective members. I know Ben Calvert is on drums and David Sanchez on saxophone. Couple other people. I mean, there are a lot of people who went into making that album, but it's absolutely amazing. And it's been out for, I think, a couple of months, but every time I show it to someone, they're like, whoa, like, what is that? And it's very much inspired by Etienne's hometown and his Haitian heritage, and it's just, it's amazing. So I highly recommend that.
Speaking of Sasha Berliner on Jazz 90.1, playing 2 shows tonight, 6:15 and 10 o'clock over at Max's. Sasha, welcome to Rochester. Welcome to the Jazz Fest.
Thank you so much for having me. Looking forward to it.